Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We're here 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. Transform your life. When you refuse to take things personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your feeling of anger, jealousy, and even sadness will simply disappear if you don't take it personally. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We ended Dow Industrials up 125, Nasdaq up 42, S&P's up 11, gold contract up $2, trading at $1,574 an ounce. Silver up 17 cents at $28.67 an ounce. Platinum up 20 bucks at $1,588 an ounce. Copper up a penny and a half at $3.52 a pound. Light sweet crude up 70 cents, trading out at $90.82 a barrel. Bonds down 10 ticks at 143.20. Dollar index off 115 at 82.14. Euro up 17 ticks at 130.43. And the yen down 19, trading out at 93.30. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? You have the Dow at all-time highs. You have the S&P cash. We're at 1538. We get over the 1530 level, which was the last high that was generated on the 20th. We do 645 million shares versus a billion on the way down. Bottom line, folks, you're at higher price, you can get to higher price. We go to the Dow Industrials. You take a look at the Dow Industrials. Now, the Dow is a classic, folks, because I'm sure you've heard it all over the press. The Dow's at all-time highs. Bottom line, it absolutely is. You're at 14,253. No volume up here as you broke those highs. No two ways about that. But more intriguing is that out of the 30 stocks, folks, 6 of them were put in there in the last 5 years. That's how the Dow works, folks. So the bottom line, if you a few of them, if you remember, GM was in the Dow, AIG was in the Dow. Bottom line, you get the gist of it. The Dow in itself is a number that can always more than likely go to all-time highs. Why? Because as companies get BK'd, whether it's Polaroid, whether it's digital, whether it's Data General, all of those were Dow stocks. Bottom line, they put new ones in. So the S&P, though, let's go to the S&P for a second, because the S&P is 500 stocks. That's a big number. No two ways about it. So right now you're at 1537 on the S&P. We bring this back. And what is game here, there's no two ways about it, because you're only 40 bucks away from it, is 1576. The low of the high of 2009 was 1499. You're into that bar, and just like when you're into the bar, bottom line, the top of that is game. If we take a look at the SPY, if you want to see what type of conviction or non-conviction you have as you're coming up to these levels, this is what we had. Today, the SPY did 113 million shares. You get over the high that had 215 million. So you can see that the correlation is direct as you can get. Why would you go in to a store and there's half the amount of people and you'd buy it at a higher price? They're chasing, folks, and they're going to get hurt big time too. This is that correlation there. When you go higher, and we're talking about 100 million shares lighter, that's pretty dramatic. Now, I'm talking about at the highs, not how we came off the highs. When we came off the highs, we came down with 245 million shares. That's where we stand right now. Now, let's put this, and we take this on a monthly basis, and how we're coming into the highs that were generated in 2007. 2007, the first high out there, we had 3.9 billion shares, and the SPY went to 156. Then what ended up happening, and this is the key that you want to wrap your head around. So in July of 2007, we hit a high of $156. We did that with 3.5 million shares. The following month, you came down with 6.2 billion shares. So up with 3.5 billion, down the following month with 6.2. Now, the correlation was pretty intense here. This is what it is. Because in 1 month, we had gone from 1,560 S&P to 1370. So you're talking about big numbers. My God, you're talking 190 points on the S&P. Now, what ends up happening? Okay, so that was in August. What ends up happening? We go up for another test. As we go up for the next test, it gets to a higher high, does 3.5 billion, and you got to remember, the first high out there was 3.9. You do 3.5, can't handle it. And that's after already coming down with 6.2. So what ends up happening? Well, bottom line, the rest is history. As they say, we went from 1570 on the S&P to 666. Okay, so that's where we were in 2007. Now, this is how we're coming into it, folks. The month of January, we did 2.5 billion shares. The month of February, we did 2.5 billion shares. We're coming in with 2.5 billion shares versus 3.8 versus 3.9. You know, the test is going to come in, but it does not have the juice to basically stay at higher price. If it jumps and gets over that, it's only going to end in a way. Now watch this, because this is what we have had, and this is where the heads up is. Now, what we just did there is that we did that on a monthly basis. If you happen to be watching Tiger TV, it's really clear. If you're not watching Tiger TV, I'm going to explain it so you can understand it. On the daily basis, you can see as we overtook this level here today, it's already signaling, hey, it's going down big time. Okay? Why? Because what you had is this. The strength on the way up wasn't there, number one, at 95 million and 215 million, versus what you're going downtown. So it's going to be wild watching this whole thing shake out. Now, let's go over to the NASDAQ Composite. Composite today got over the September 14th level. I believe it did anyway. Let's see. We're talking, yeah, we're at 3224. Composite out here today did 1.8 billion shares versus the 2 billion shares. Now, NDX 100, if we go to the 3 Qs, we take a look at the 3 Qs and what you have with the 3 Qs, she couldn't handle it. 3 Qs got, well, when I say couldn't handle it, she got over the highs, but she's not even close to September 14th. We're up at 70.40 for September 14th. Now, 3 Qs, today, what it did volume of 32 million. You're talking about getting over 38 million, so that's not that bad. You're talking about also coming into 67 million. So your correlation, and how we came down in October of 2012, we came down from that price point of 68.17. You know, we're talking about 67 million shares. You're going into that with 32 million. Bonds. Now, this is where there's divergence out here, and this is where it is. You go over to the bond market, right? Okay, so the 30-year bond. She pulls back today with 283,000 contracts versus 500,000 contracts, okay? What should have happened, if it's all in harmony, that it's going to be higher prices, the good higher prices are going to stay. What you should have seen, folks, is the bond market should have get decimated big time. It didn't. It was coming back into a 512,000 contract day with 283,000. We go over to the, and by the way, folks, I'll pull this up, but the 10-year bond last month, this is pretty wild, too, because, you know, folks are continually saying that the bond is going to get imploded. Well, the bottom line, folks, in the whole world, the 10-year bond, I believe, was on a percentage basis, when you take the 10-year bond with the dollar expanding, was the best investment, a debt investment in the whole world last month. I think it was 2.1% or something. Okay, it's pretty intense. I'll pull it back up, but I had it up this morning. It's pretty amazing. And what that is, of course, is that is how the bond traded and how the dollar went up. And that's what that Japanese trade is all about, folks. They're getting it both ways. Dollar index. Okay, so what do we have with the dollar index? Dollar index refuses to back off also. We do 24,000 contracts today. And the dollar index, she's trading at 82.13. That 24,000 contracts, folks, is coming into 50,000. The dollar right now is at 82.13. She wants to run up to the 84 number. Gold. This is intense, folks. Let me tell you something. This gold market, okay, so gold today was flat. We had a high of 1584. We had a low of 1571. We're right now at 1574. She's building cars, and she's building cars to get into this low and actually break this low. One of the stocks we don't have in the gold report and don't even follow in the gold report is Newmont. Newmont, folks, is in a monster ABC down. You're at 38 bucks. It's going to 27 bucks. It's about as intense as you can get. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. We'll come right back.